Well, good morning everybody. So, what are we doing today? Well, I've already done a lot of work on this vehicle, but today we are hopefully going to get to a point where we get this cylinder head off. So as you can see, I've stripped quite a lot out of the engine bay, rads out, all of the timing gears off. I've just removed I believe it's the EGR cooler. So I've got to get the intake manifold off and all of that gubbins. There's the turbo to come off and the exhaust manifold, which I'll try and just do and pull out of the way. So quite a lot more to do. Okay, now it's going to be a little bit different filming here. I've got to figure out some way of getting the camera in a good position where you'll be able to see everything I'm doing. And I'm not sure how to do that yet, but we shall set something up and see how we go. So welcome to my Mitsubishi L200, which I believe has either a head gasket problem, could be the cylinder head, could even be the block, but it was definitely pushing air into the expansion bottle. We did an exhaust gas test and exhaust gases were definitely getting into the cooling system, so it's something along those lines. Okay, well, I'm going to crack on, get you positioned. I hope you enjoy the show. Right, well, in a lot of respects, this is all new territory to me. So we're just going to crack on and see what we can make happen. There's a whole multitude of different bolt sizes and bolts half done up. I mean, Jesus wept. You can't see it, but I can. So I've got an inlet bolt here. I've turned that 4 turns and that's hanging its arse out. I think somebody's done a lot of work on this and just bodged it. Absolutely bodged it. Right, well, no point complaining. It is what it is, so let's get it unbuttoned. I think we're pretty much there to tap this manifold off, but we do have a lot of electricals. To be pretty much everything. Bracket. if you wanted to design a vehicle and at the same time, because you've had an unhappy life, be a total bastard, this is exactly how I think you'd design it. Finally. So my good folks, I've got the plug to take off. 2, 4, 6, 8 exhaust bolts. And you know something? I've got a sneaky feeling that's this side of the head done. So first thing, let's grab a 12mm spanner and get that little turbo pipe off. Again, a bit of a problem getting that over. Right, I've got 2 water pipes, so it's going to be a hell of a lot easier to tackle them when the head's off. So, just a tiny bit of head's loose. So can we pull the turbo and exhaust manifold back far enough? Yes. And can we get our injectors out? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes. Do we want to crack them off the pump and take all of the what's it blocks off? I don't know if we do. Not sufficiently. Right, can I now get in and get those water pipes loosened off? Now you might be thinking that's a bit optimistic, Mark. And to be honest, you are probably right. No. Come on. Right, we are getting there. Yep. I think that's off. Shall we see? I think that's definitely moving in the right direction. I just can't get in with them. That's that one. Right, time for the big fella. It's a little bit more awkward, that one. What's pump pliers? Right, now that's off. All we have to do is get that rubber hose off, and then we're laughing. Not. So we're going to try and push it off first. Guys, I don't know about you, but I think that cylinder head's coming off. I don't know how it's coming off, but it is my sworn duty. It's saying that there's something still attached, maybe. I don't think there is. So what does it think is still attached? What do you think? Okay, I think it might be that. No. Right guys, well, let's have a quick look at the cylinder head. To be really honest with you, it's not looking too bad. There's no real obvious signs that this has had a problem. What I do see is there's corrosion and pitting between, I'm believing, 3 and 4 and 2 and 3. And number 1 isn't too bad. And that kind of lines up where that cracking, where that suspected cracking is. Also seems to be some like little fractures going off in the area where the injector is. but I don't think that's really a cause for concern here. So the other thing I've done is I've cleaned down the head gasket, and again you can see some, I don't know what you'd call it, some damage perhaps, if you like. So this relates 3 and 4 in the barrel 3 and 4 should I say, and this is barrel 2 and 3. Not so much with 1, but this is quite chewed up. Now that could just be where the head has been torqued down onto that corrosion. A little bit on the top here as well. There doesn't seem to be that much gap between the head surface and these valves. I am presuming, although I am by no means an expert, that this head's already been skimmed, probably on multiple occasions. But I'll take the ancillaries off, drop the injectors out, and take this to towelers and say, look, what do you reckon? But before I do that, what I have done is I've cleaned up the block a little bit more. And I'm really thinking that the block's just scrap now. I don't know how much a second-hand engine would cost for one of these, even if you'd want to rely on a second-hand engine. But I think by the time I paid for an engine and all the grief of fitting it, I am probably well out on the money I would receive back from selling the truck. And there's no saying that all this crap couldn't happen again. They're quite common. So I might end up just chalking a whole lot up to bad experience and see what I can get for it engineless. I mean, it was a really good drive. It's had all new suspension components. You know, it's a nice truck inside. It's just this. The other thing I would like to do, and I'm going to have to join a few forums here, I can tell, is see if there's an alternative to this engine. Something maybe with a 6-speed box that would bolt in, give me 6 gears, give me a little bit more top end, and not have to go through total destruction. And I've just noticed, I don't know if you guys can, FD, 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 nothing. Not saying it isn't genuine, but just another sign that this engine's probably had a harder life than I would care to have to live with. You can see all this lovely silicone sealer here around this little rubber seal. I mean, if you're going to do things like that, just tidy it up after. Anyway, that's my thoughts. Gasket, not totally sure about that. Cylinder head, I'd almost go so far as to say I could probably reuse this. I mean, you wouldn't, not without having it skimmed. But as I say, I don't think the head is our problem. So what I'm going to do is take it back over to the block with my trusty torch and show you what we've got. So what I've done here is I've just literally wiped the bore out with a bit of brake cleaner. I think you can see the kind of mess that's there. And if I scratch that, I don't know, I don't feel, you know, it's very visual, but I'm going to need a second opinion from somebody who knows what they're talking about, obviously. What I don't see, you see, is I don't see it in number 3. I see honing marks. You know, I can still see the honing marks. The only thing I can think of is if the head gasket's gone, water's dribbled down here and corroded it, and that could have happened since it's been sat here, because you can kind of see a line here and you can see a water build up here, and that could be just where it's come out the head gasket. I don't know. I shall ask my expert friends. Anyway, that's about it. I'm going to wrap up, clean all my tools, put everything away, and I think I'm going to call it a day. I think I'm going to go home and kind of sulk a bit.